Hi, everyone. This is Caroline Speaks, A State of the World on Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. So, what is it? Good, better, and different. All three. Uh, Coronavirus is still with us. Gun violence is continuing on the rise. And uh, nothing's really changed. Now, what are some of the major headlines? The failure begins with Greg Abbott. Texas lawmaker demands gun control after Uvalde massacre. I totally agree with that lawmaker. Are you Democrat or Republican? You're a Democrat. Okay, thank you for taking a stand. Also, Pulse nightclub massacre survivor says delayed police response in Uvalde shows pattern in mass shootings. I agree. Also, Colombia election runoff. Leftist Gustavo Petro leads presidential vote but faces Trump-like tycoon. A nut. Okay, so hopefully the left will win. Hopefully the people will win. Okay, what else is there? Uvalde police waited over an hour to confront the shooter as students begged for help. Why is that? Why did they do that? I don't understand. I don't know if it had anything to do with the fact that the vast majority of the students were Latino, and I don't know if it had anything to do with the police response and the delay. Okay. Also, Texas State Senator confronts Governor Greg Abbott and said, "We have to do something." I agree. So I'm hoping Texas will do something. Now, Canada to freeze purchases and transfers of handguns. Great. I totally agree with that. Now, if only we can get them to end the seal hunt, they have this annual seal hunt on the ice, and they kill the baby seals. Yep. Okay, but no one's buying seal coats or anything. I don't understand Canada. Also, thousands protest outside NRA convention as Trump calls for more guns in schools. That's what we need, more guns in schools. We have enough guns out there. Of course, Trumpy is the nutty one. Oh, they're all nuts. Okay. Now, French journalist among the dead as Russian forces press into Severodonetsk. I have trouble pronouncing that, but anyway, um, the city in eastern Ukraine is battling um, um, the Russians, and unfortunately, the French journalist Frederick Leclerc Imhoff was hit by shrapnel from a Russian shell that pierced the armored evacuation vehicle he and his colleagues were riding in. At least 32 media workers have been killed since Russia invaded in February. Reporters Without Borders Director General Christophe Delors condemned Russia for the deaths. I totally agree. The world's a very dangerous place. European Union, pledges to gradually ban most Russian oil imports with Hungary exempted. And why is Hungary has a radical leader, Orban. Iran seizes Greek oil tankers after Greece confiscates Iranian oil. So it's going to be I don't know, they're going to go back and forth. I'm going to, you seize my oil, I'm going to seize your oil. Okay. All right, that's okay. So, now also flooding and landslides kill at least 91 in Brazil. Brazil has had problems with that. And heavy rains. Unfortunately, the leader of Brazil, hope they vote him out to get a good leader in, Bolsonaro. He doesn't like the poor people and the indigenous people. So I hope we get rid of that leader of Brazil, put him in jail forever. Mainly the poor communities have been affected by the flooding and the landslides. Okay. Now, Agatha hits Mexico's eastern Pacific strongest ever May hurricane. Okay, we have a new hurricane now. Hurricane Agatha. Okay, we have to watch out for that. Okay, Earth is already too hot and unsafe. Vanuatu declares climate emergency. And this is a country that is a South Pacific island nation, and they're really being hurt by climate change, the climate catastrophe. Okay. Now, Colombia's Gustavo Petro to face Rodolfo Hernandez in presidential runoff. So I hope the liberals win. China eases COVID restrictions in Shanghai and Beijing. Okay. 20-year-old Emmanuel Sullivan becomes a 22nd Rikers Island prisoner to die since 2021. And what is the story with Emmanuel? I don't know. But hopefully he will not have died in vain. I don't know what it is about Rikers Island. Okay. Starbucks labor organizers win 100th unionized store. Yes. Good way to go. At least 100 stores have formed unions across the country. The historic milestone comes after 2 Starbucks in Seattle and 1 in Birmingham, Alabama, voted to unionize last week. Starbucks executives have responded with a campaign of retaliation against union efforts. The National Labor Relations Board says more than a dozen Starbucks workers have been illegally fired as workers at hundreds of stores have filed for union elections since December, when a Starbucks in Buffalo became the first unionized store in the United States. Good for you. Hope they all get unionized. Okay. Criticism mounts over slow police response to Uvalde school shooting. Yes, I agree. Joe died of a broken heart. Husband of teacher slain in Uvalde dies of a heart attack. I hope he and his wife will have a happy home in heaven where they're well taken care of. Toronto schools locked down as police shoot man carrying gun near an elementary school. Okay. All right. They shot the man. In Texas, they were thinking about what they were going to do. U.S. students walk out of classes to demand gun control laws, and they're doing this all over the country. Okay. And GOP senators filibuster Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act. Oh, what's wrong with the Republican Party? GOP is the Republican Party. Okay. Oh, they blocked the bill to combat neo-Nazi white supremacist violence. 47 Republicans voted against beginning debate on the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act, which would create domestic terrorism offices within the FBI and the Departments of Justice and Homeland Security. This comes less than 2 weeks after a white supremacist gunman killed 10 black people at a grocery store in a predominantly African American neighborhood of Buffalo, New York. So what's wrong with the Republican Party? I don't know. All right, that is some of the things that are happening in the world. Well, I hope these Republican senators who are against domestic Terrorism Prevention Act, hope they're the ones who are the victims of these actions. And get rid of them, vote them out of office. Okay. All right. Now that's some of the things happening in the world. How about a little music? Okay. All right. All right. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Okay, that's just a chorus of Good Night, Irene. A very nice song, written by recorded by the Weavers, a folk group from a while ago. Thank you for tuning in this evening of Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. So another meeting of Carolyn Speaks Dead for World. Hope you'll be back again tomorrow. Meantime, stay safe. Wear a mask, practice social distancing. When the vaccine is available for you and it's safe for you to take it, I would take it. I had mine, the Johnson & Johnson one shot. 2 sore arms, I was tired for weeks and I was fine. Now I'm looking for a booster. All right. Take care of yourselves and others. And remember, kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. Thank you. Good night. Stay safe.